and welcome to this very, very interesting conversation, because we're looking at the skills that are creating jobs today. And we're mainly focusing on the green economy, how young people are turning training into careers in the green economy. Now, Kenya's youth are looking for jobs. Well, the green economy is creating these jobs. But what is the mismatch? Is there a mismatch? And when we look at the industry, when we look at the people already in that particular sector, what is missing? What is going on over there? Do we even understand where we are at as a country when it comes to the green economy? As Kenya, tuko wapi? Hilo ndio swali kubwa tunauliza, na kama iko, is it open for everyone? The young people who are sitting at home thinking, you know, I went to school, what does this mean for me? Is it an opportunity for me to get into it now or not? So that is the conversation we're having today. And I have the perfect panel for this conversation. So introducing my panelist from my immediate left. I have to do that. It's one of those ones. I have Eve Murithi, who is the TVET Technical Advisor, Employment Promotion for Women for the Green Transformation in Africa, We4D. Karibu sana.
Thank you.
Lovely to have you on the show.
Thank you so much.
All right. And moving on to my extreme right, yes, we have Electric Vehicle Technician Trainee. Yes. Sally Kenya. Hey! Hey! Lovely to have you on the show. I don't know what is more exciting, the title or that it's a lady who's just sitting right in there. But lovely to have you on the show. We'll definitely talk about that. And last but not least, the only gentleman on the panel, we have the General Manager, Equator Mobility, Alex Mwanzo. Karibu sana.
Asante sana.
Lovely to have you on the show. And let's just start. And I know I just said your titles heavy too. But I know they carry so much weight. So starting with you, Eve, maybe you can just tell us a bit more about what you do and what We4D actually is.
Okay, thank you so much. So, like my name, you said, Eve.
Yes.
I work for GIZ under the program WE4D, Employment Promotion for Women for the Green Transformation in Africa. WE4D is funded by the German government and implemented by GIZ. GIZ is the implementing agency for the German government. And of course, as WE4D, the main objective of the program is employment promotion for youth and women within the green transformation. And you're going to be talking a little bit about electric mobility today.
Okay, yeah. Okay. I think we just go straight to Alex before we get to you, Sally, and you can tell us a bit more about Equator Mobility.
Name Alex. I work as a General Manager for Equator Mobility. Equator Mobility is the boots on the ground that's actually doing the transition itself. So we're actually assisting business transition to electric mobility, minus the upfront cost of actually purchasing a technology that's so new even in the world. So our main project is actually leasing electric vehicles for corporates and businesses and assisting in transition. And down the line, we also do curriculum development with GIZ, the German government, and any TVET institutions in Kenya.
And I don't know, I think maybe you're just being modest, Alex, but is this the leading organization? We can go there, it's fine.
Leading, we also have East Africa's first fully dedicated EV garage.
Yes.
Yes.
So you were trying to be more modest over there.
Pretty huge stuff.
Yeah. But okay. Sally, please take us there.
Okay, I'm Sally Kimathi. I'm an electric vehicle trainer. I've been empowering the youth and the women that we have in Kenya and sub-Saharan Africa. We try to transition them from their university, diploma, degree, certificate, whichever course you've done in your level of education, and we try to train them to be technicians to get the skills relevant to work in any EV setup, whether a workshop, an assembly plant, a manufacturing plant, through the German-funded program.
Okay. I'm really interested to even understand where you were at before. Yeah. You know, when we asked the questions, when you grew up, what do you want to be? What was it like for you? And even discovering this Perth, because it's pretty new. I mean, we're still trying to see how we're going to get into it as a country as well. So I'm really interested to find out, but we'll get there. Eve, just looking at Kenya as a general, when you talk about the transformation when it comes to green economy, where are we? How are we doing? How loud are we? And looking at the institutions as well, and the ones that are actually offering this.
So as WE4D, we're working in various sectors.
Okay.
Within, of course, sectors that are preparing the green transformation. We have blue economy, we have ecotourism, we have circular economy, water waste management. We also have now green construction, and we have now, in this case, transport, which is e-mobility. But now let me speak on e-mobility. I think we're pretty much advanced as Kenya. I'm sure as you currently right now you're seeing a lot of two-wheelers.
Oh yes,
those are the electric border borders.
Yeah, a
lot of them. We're also seeing a lot of e-buses currently, even like Basigo. They are everywhere in the Kenya. Yeah. And also we have, you go to Mombasa, we have a lot of electric tuk-tuks, the three-wheelers there. So I think we are more advanced right now compared to, East Africa. And I think that's why you're seeing now we are having the conversation of there are a lot of skills that are needed, because companies now need a lot of workers to be able to support the electric mobility sector. So I think we are at a really good place right now, and we're advancing very fast. That's why we need to cope up with the advancing sector, and that is now we are having this skills development initiative to be able to support the sector and be able to churn out industry-driven workforce that has the skills that the industry needs.
Okay.
Yeah.
Qua ground then, because this is where you come in. What does it look like in terms of how we've adapted to this, how we are accepting this? Are we still looking at it as niche and it's for certain people, or are we open to just having these conversations? Are we receptive to it?
Yes, it is. I mean, so I'm a numbers guy, and numbers would give you a basic understanding of what it looks like.
Okay.
So 2020, we're looking at about 50 electric boarders. Right now, we are looking at over 35,000 electric boarders.
Whoa.
So, like, even I can't give you a percentage number because it's like thousands of percentage in growth. And if you order your lunch today, it'll probably be delivered by an electric boarder.
That's true.
And that just means people actually embracing it. And if you speak to the last guy, the boarder guy who's actually delivering your lunch, they're actually making more money by using an electric bike as opposed to using a fuel bike, right? So it's not just about, yes, you're transitioning, but are we giving this guy more money that he would have otherwise gotten? Get into a normal bus, a Basigo bus, and get into your typical bus. There's, one is a little bit more comfortable. It's, more space and things like that. So the transition...
there's less noise.
Exactly, So the transition is happening, and it's gone so big that people actually I'll actually wait for an electric bus to come. I'll actually wait for an electric boarder to come. And for me, who's actually applying the market is one of the biggest issues we have as a players right now is there's not enough people to hire. There's also not enough product to go to the market. So, the market is there, the supply is just not there. But government is doing quite a bit in terms of local assembly, and with projects like with GSZ, now Manpower is coming on board. KVM has invested quite a bit in local assembly of electric bikes. I think Simba Corp has invested $5 billion or like that in AVA to do local assembly of electric buses and things like that. So the numbers are interesting here.
Very interesting. And to think
when I was called in to go to the university, and you see the course they pushed me to do was an engineering course. But when I got there were so many paths to follow, so many things to do, and you see you have to consider where you're going to apply whatever you learn in school. You don't just learn for the sake of learning. So this is where I started my journey in automotive, because again, I didn't have the background to understand how vehicles work, how to go around it. I've never stepped into a garage before I got to around second, third year in university. So when I went to the garage, finally, I was able to see what these guys get to do. But you see, we have the future, we have the transition to electric vehicles, we have the hybrids as well. So when I was at a garage and they wouldn't even fix a hybrid, which is what we have at the market back then, 2022. So the idea was I get to understand what we have in Kenya, and I get to transition to now the fully powered, the EVs, the electric vehicles. So again, the space is small, the companies are small, but we have people like Equita Mobility who have transitioned, who have gone faster than other companies. And this is where now I got to interact with them, for them to teach me, because in a local garage in another county apart from Nairobi, you don't get to interact with them. So that's how I just ended up here. It wasn't planned, but it's a beautiful space.
Curious.
It's an amazing space, yes.
Let's talk about the women in this particular industry. Probably at the space where you're at now, what do the numbers look like?
We have a few women who are technicians.
Okay.
That is because we have empowered them to get into the space. Normally, you'll find you have women in your company, in your workshops, but they're not doing the hardcore, the hands-on things. But we nowadays we have people with a positive attitude towards it. If you go to Equita Mobility, if you go to Basigo, you'll find that women have been empowered and you are able to now work in that space comfortably. And like around 2022, when I was in my second garage or so, there weren't any women. I was the only woman, and before they would even let me touch any tool, they would tell me, no, you won't be able to do this. Let me help you, just watch.
Yes.
But you see, I can't just watch and know how to work it out.
Yeah.
But now we have programs like the German-funded programs, the WIFOD. They are able to empower us. They're able to encourage us. They give us the space, the opportunity to even build up. Because if I go to an EV workshop, I might not be able to touch that screwdriver, that spanner.
Yes.
But with time, if someone is patient with me, encourages me that I can do it, I can definitely do it.
You're already doing it. You're already doing it. And I think this ropes you in, Eve, with the WE4D program. The need for that, where did that come from? And how do we even access so that we don't have just a few of them? And even in that particular space, they continue to be empowered, as Sally says.
So as a WE4D, the core objective is employment promotion. But now we have the W, which is the women.
Yes.
And for us, gender equality is a very huge thing. And of course, we're trying to balance out the numbers for men and women. And I know when people hear gender, they're like, no, it's just women. But no. In our training program, we are looking at improving the participation of women in the electric mobility field. If you look at the transport sector, we don't have many women generally, even in the fuel-based itself, even in the automotive, like garages, you don't find the women. So we were like, there is an opportunity for jobs within this sector, but we also have now an opportunity to even churn in more women in this sector. And in this case, now we started a curriculum development with the industry. Of course, we have to make it industry-driven first, so that by the time we're churning out people, the industry, they fit what the industry requires. But also we had to make the curriculum gender-sensitive in such a way, even the training itself is inclusive, for women, the examples, how the teachers are training, pedagogy and didactics, they are able to know how to train women as well, because it's purely male-dominated. Even the teachers themselves, they are men, right?
Yep.
So in this case now we started also talking to the companies, because also even at the point where we're trying to churn them to jobs, the companies are used to men.
Yes.
So our sensitization started from the industry, like we're bringing in women. And of course, since we're training with them now with Equita Mobility all through, because we start with them at the design phase, during the training and during the placement, they're able to take them up. And in this case, they're able to see that actually women can do it. But we also had to do a lot of sensitization on the ground during mobilization to let parents know that, hey, a lady can be able to do this straight from high school. You can be able to be an EV technician, actually to repair and maintain two-wheelers, three-wheelers, and four-wheelers. And some parents were like, are you sure? And we got a lot of applicants who are men and very few ladies. And we had to use different channels to be able to have many women apply and also now handhold the women. That's why you find it in the classrooms. One of the requirements we have, like now we're training with NITA Nairobi and NITA Ade River, is having women trainers in the classroom.
Oh, nice.
And that really works a lot, because you find that the women trainers are able to push the women more.
Yeah, because I'm seeing a woman do it.
Yes.
So if you're teaching
compared to the men, because the men are like, hey, how far do I push? The women trainer will be like, no.
Yes, if I can do it.
You can do it.
Yes.
So for us, we've seen a lot of growth.
Yeah.
And from the first cohort we started, we'll be ending in August, and we'll have been able to train 320.
Whoa.
50% of which are women, because we're having men and women. But I've also seen another thing that has changed in the classroom is we introduced gender trainings.
Oh, so it's not just
technical.
Yeah.
So we're also doing gender trainings. And also in this case, we're partnering with the WTS Energy. Industry partnerships are very key for employment promotion.
Yes.
So our main partner in these is the WTS Energy and Foundation. They are the industry that are in the classroom. And now they're able to bring on board like Equita Mobility and other companies that we work with. And through them also, we're able now to incorporate also the gender trainings, which is now GIZ expertise. And through these gender trainings now, the first cohort, we were bringing the gender training at the end of the training.
Yes.
And the men actually were like, no, why don't you bring it in the first week? Because it helps them to know how to relate in the classroom, how gender norms and stereotypes are influencing women uptake, and also how to support each other in class. And when you train them through that, they're able also to know how to champion for both genders in the industry, because we were training even experts, but they're like, you realize in the industry, we don't have women changing rooms where I work. And they're like, by the way, this is a problem we need to work on this. So if we're working on to attract women in this sector, we've really been working on how to attract and retain them during classroom training, but also now working with the industry to ensure that they are retained in the industry by having mechanisms at work like changing rooms, flexi hours for women, policies, maternity for women, PPEs, overalls for women. So this is, we're doing end to end so that we not only attract, but we retain. And I'm realizing through the retaining, years later, if a lady is straight from high school, they meet with Sally, or they meet now with these other 600 women who have been trained, they're like, oh, but I can do this. Because now we are changing the narrative, like these male-dominated courses, the STEM courses, also women can do them.
Absolutely. And I'm curious to know how that was for you, because you are the first people who are creating these things. I mean, you are having these conversations. The other thing that I really, really love is that it's not just training. Most of the programs that come together, they just train. And then we've trained all the best guys, go out there and find whatever you can find in terms of employment. But you're doing end to end. And it's not just in training, it's also creating conducive environments for these women as they get into this space. That ropes you in as Equita Mobility. What does that space look like when a woman comes straight from training and they're there? How are they handled? What have you done as an organization to just make sure that probably they feel comfortable and they can settle in?
Good question. So the one thing I think, first we've actually hired from the same cohorts, right? So we've gone into class and then we know the good people. And it's gotten to a point whereby when we need to hire, it's not an advertisement. We first call Sally. Because the one thing you need to understand about the ecosystem first is there is no person leaving school today who has the right skills to go to the EVs. Yes, they have the background, but not the right skills. For us, unfortunately, we're working with batteries, extremely dangerous. We want the right skill set, we want the right mindset, and we also want teachable people, right? So by the time someone is coming, is already 50% ready. We don't want to introduce batteries to you, which were not introduced to you in school. So that's the first thing. And the retaining bit that Evie is mentioning is, we want to create a setup, especially like Equita Mobility. So we have one of the ladies from cohort 3. From cohort 3. She comes in, overall, she's under the vehicle. It's not because she's a woman, do admin work and whatnot. It's, you're actually doing the hard stuff. Because for us, we believe in the equality part of things. If someone is coming at 8, you're coming at 8, you're fixing these cars. Because we honestly, one, believe in the curriculum that we've assisted to develop. And the other thing is, because again, the market is so new, everything you're also learning on the job, right? It's research. Half of it is actually research. Because again, no one has done it before. So the first thing that you're actually interacting with the battery, that's probably the first or second time you're actually touching one. So there is no background to this. So industry, I mean, we've done so much, and there's also so much that can happen. And for us, the only thing that can now happen is we already have people who we feel can suit this market. And based on the numbers, if you just project the next 5 years on the growth, all of a sudden, if Basigo is doing Nakuru, if Basigo is doing Mombasa and things like that, that ecosystem, someone has to absorb them. So demand is there, supply is coming. Now we are merging the two. That's now where us as industry is merging the end of things.
Okay. So there's so much more that still needs to be done. And we'll just find out what that looks like. And even in terms of institutions, do we have that particular, because you said something about how they will need to go through another training
Yes.
when they come.
Correct.
So can this be taken care of if they're at TVETs?
Correct. Yes.
Is it being taken care of?
Yes. So through GIZ and the German funding and WTS, who are now the enablers,
Yes.
what's happening is through TVETs, so especially NITA. NITA is doing quite a lot in developing these hands-on skills, right?
Yeah.
Because unfortunately, Kenya's curriculum is not catching up with the world's curriculum. Now, if you go back to the teachables in school, in uni, in colleges, is you find electric vehicles is here, curriculum is still on carburetors, which is like 20 years back. So how do you leapfrog from 1990 to whatever is happening right now? So through all this, partnership for this, that's the leapfrogging that is now happening, because batteries will come, they're already here. What happens now?
Yeah.
Yes.
As a technician, this is a whole new world for you and many others who are trying to get into it. What was the biggest surprise for you when you started, in the EV industry?
I think it was not having access to any of these things. We have the entire thing, the EVs, the batteries, like he's mentioning. I could learn those, but then without proper guidance, I wasn't able to follow it until I had to actually visit his workshop to actually see the things going on. If you look at the charging infrastructure that we have right now, we have so many chargers coming up. If you go to the internet world, you won't find much detailed information on how to go about the charges. How are you going to understand the charges to be able to self-teach yourself to be ready for the industry? So you have to go to the companies offering that. And you see, they are in business. At no point will they tell you, let's see how this is working, what's happening, how do we make this, how do we install this charger. They won't tell you that. So that was the biggest thing, because up to this year, I was still not conversant with chargers until now. I went to a training with the W4D. There was a training of trainers that was happening, and they had an entire topic where they were talking about the chargers themselves. They would teach you how to install, how to do the necessary calculations and all those things. So you can be in school, you want to do this, but you don't have access to these things. You don't have someone to guide you through these things, because again, we have fewer people, fewer technicians, fewer companies which have the time, because most of them, they are now growing up. So they won't take you in to teach you. They're doing business, yeah?
Yes.
So you have to, sometimes you get into the market, you don't know what you're doing really. You would want to go to Equator Mobility, ask for an internship, for instance, but you really can't do any of those things. You might have learned batteries. You have gone to YouTube, you have learned everything about batteries, but you don't know how to handle a battery. And that's the first step. You have to be taught how to safely handle a battery. So not having many workshops, or even in our schools, they don't have the setup where you can first go handle these things first before you go to a workshop, before you go to look for a job, before you start your own startup if you want to. So like he was mentioning, still in school, yes, our curriculum is a bit it's bad. Yeah, no, yes. Because up to the end of I think 2024, and I decided, let me get into the automotive class and see what they actually teach.
Yes.
And they're teaching us carburetors. We don't have carburetors anymore.
You know that is
Yes. Yeah, and the farthest they have gone in terms of the EVs, they just introduce you to hybrids, but they're just telling you what's new, what's functioning. They're not telling me much about the batteries. They're not telling me about the chargers, and so I can't connect all these things. When I now get to an EVs in front of me, I can't do anything about it, because I only know the knowledge, the transition, the basics.
The other thing actually to add on the same is the training that she's doing right now.
Yes.
It's a full driving vehicle that people actually taking it apart, putting it back together and driving it out.
What?
It's not a YouTube video. Right? And I think you can see the sort of gap that we're looking at, right?
Yes.
There's a difference between me teaching you, and there's a difference between you actually doing something. So for every cohort, one of the key metrics of if actually you guys have performed well or not is, this is a full vehicle, divide yourself into groups, take it apart, this is a charger, this is a battery, and you're actually opening the whole car, and then you're putting it back together. By the time you guys are leaving the class, that car has to be driving. And then the next class will start,
Again.
So you can see the difference. I'm an engineering student.
Yes.
That was not in my class.
No, it wasn't.
For 5 years, right?
Yes.
And if someone compresses a class for like 3 months, it's more than I would have gained in like a 6-year uni class. So that's the kind of, yeah.
Okay, you wanted to say something.
Yeah, no, I wanted to say now we divide them into groups, but we have to have ladies doing the work.
Yes.
Sometimes you'd go and find some are they're still shy. They're not doing the actual work. You have to force them to do the work. They're the ones who have to. We don't even look much into the men that we have in the class. The women, they have to take lead because from there they can now comfortably move to working on actual vehicles. Yes, because you will find that most men, whether they have the background or not, they are a bit confident to do all these things. Whether they know it or not, they'll try, they'll do it, which is why we are big on empowering these women.
But also to add on the equipment bit,
Yes.
as the German government or the W4D program, and of course in collaboration with the WTS Foundation, we not only create the curriculum with the industry, but in order to make the training industry relevant and hands-on, we have to purchase world-class equipment for the institutions.
Okay.
So the vehicles we're talking about, you'll find we've purchased equipments and the vehicles. We have one vehicle in Nita, Nairobi. You'll find 2 vehicles in Nita at the river. Even for the parents, you can make a tour. In Nairobi, we have the Spark Energy Hub.
Yeah.
Feel free, get in. You'll be able to see the EV training taking place, interact with the trainers. But of course, for us, if you can create, for you to be able to promote employment and for them to be absorbed at the companies, you need to train them with what is in the industry.
Yeah.
So one of the things we did was equip these workshops, have the industries train the teachers on how to train. Now WTS does a lot of quality assurance when it comes to classroom training. So they co-train with the teachers for the maybe first 2 cohorts, and then they move out and let the training institutions take the lead. So you find full-fledged workshops so that at the end of the day, when they go to the industry, they are able to find what they were using in the classroom. At the industry,
We're due on a break. We're due on a break, but when we come back, I'd like to find out what the conversion looks like. After all the people have graduated, are they all absorbed? How do we measure success when it comes to this? And where we are at as a country, I know you gave us numbers of what it would look like in the next couple of years, but what does it take for us to get there? But all of that will be coming to us after the break, so don't go too far.
*931#.
Skiza na Nation.
Ni kipi kikusikitishacho? Ni kipi kikusikitishacho? Ni kipi kikusikitishacho? Ni kipi kikusikitishacho?
Kuna mengi na mengineyo yanayotokea mashinani.
Wangetuma KWS wengi. Sasa wametutumia watu wadogo, hata wao wanashindwa na hizi dogo.
Unakijua kinachoathiri maisha ya watu kwako?
Kuna wale wanajaribu kubeba lakini hawatoa tairi. Ufunge na washinda, bala zinawalemea, kuendesha pikipiki pia inawalemea.
Jeneza yenye iko chini ni 10,000 na yenye iko juu yenye niko nayo mimi mwenyewe hapa ni 100,000.
Unapata kuwa Wakenya wamekosa uaminifu. Tururu si nda.
MTV Mashinani.
Mimi Brian Zioki, Election Odera,
Robert Malala,
Willy Chepkemoi,
Stephen Odwor.
Jina langu George Odwor.
Abraham Gadesha,
Mbula,
Oscar Kakayo Masega.
Wanatazama NTV Mashinani
Kila siku ya wiki saa 12:30 MTV Mashinani. Hii ni yako.
Welcome back, welcome back. We are talking about the green economy, the green transformation. Tumeongea juu ya electric vehicles. We've talked about the industry and specifically women, and Sally is here representing Yani. We did this, we're doing it, and you can do it as well. And just before the break, I was curious to find out from you, Eve, what does it look like? We've taken these girls through training, and our intention is to make sure they are absorbed because that is what we want. How does that work? Is it 100% everybody is in there? Well, at the same time, Alex says, Sisi, we need more people. So where's the disconnect?
Okay. So, like I said, we work in the industry from the beginning.
Yes.
But of course, we have industries like Equity Mobility that would be willing just to take up. They'll work with us from the training, and we have a lot of industry partners in this case. And of course, the partners in the e-mobility space are not that many. Yeah. That is because it's an emerging, so it's really growing fast. So it's about trying to sensitize and change the narrative for us, and we train them on soft skills. With the WTS Foundation, we do a lot of soft skills training.
That's really good.
Because at the end of the day, in as much as we are helping them to do the linkages and matching to the various industry partners. We want you by yourself to be able to go out and apply for a job and be confident enough. Yes. Like we're saying, employability skills, we try to impact that through the WTS Energy and CV writing, LinkedIn, how do you make application? What are the different channels that you can, how can brand yourself? What are the different options in Kenya when it comes to applying for jobs, and how do you do it in a smart way that puts you out there? So we do all that. But of course, through the TVET institutions, we do like industry days whereby we are able now to bring on board industry. Like yesterday, at Nita the River, we had like over 30 industry partners in the mobility. And we were walking them through the workshop, showing them this is a class that we're training. They're going to be out in 3 months. Expect them, we need attachments, we need internship. And for some of them, like, what do you mean? You guys are here. But you see, for the likes we've been working with, like Equity Mobility and Basigo, they know we're here, and of course they are hiring from us. There are also others who don't know. So the challenge is bridging that gap, because the institutions cannot work in isolation.
No.
And the industries, you cannot work in isolation.
Yeah.
So we need to create a lot of awareness that TVETs are offering industry-driven skills that the industry needs, but also the TVETs need to work with the industry hand in hand so that they can be able to create exactly what they want. And also the industries need to be very willing and open to absorbing as many young people. Even if we start at attachment, at least if I have an attachment for 6 months at Equity Mobility, it will kickstart me to the next job. Because someone will say, oh, Alex, you're at Equity Mobility. Oh, Equity Mobility is good. And then I think I can give you a chance, another internship for 6 months. So, and also we are having another challenge is the openness of the young people to, getting jobs and starting low.
Okay.
We are having this issue. You are trained straight from high school and you want a job that really pays you 100,000.
Yes.
That will never happen. It may happen in some cases, but they're isolated cases.
Yes.
But a company like Equity Mobility will give you a chance. We'll give you a 3 months attachment. Maybe we'll give you stipend for transport, but you need to put in the work and show. And also maybe an internship. So we need to be willing to put ourselves out there, and so that people can actually see that, you have the skills that align to what we need.
Great. Alex, just listening to that, and I know you guys work together very closely, what more things can we do to just bridge the gap? Because the training is happening.
Yeah.
TVETs wameingia ndani, Nita is doing a thing, you are ready to absorb. So on your end, what is the challenge when it comes to just bridging that particular gap or satisfying the need that the companies like yours currently in the country need?
Yeah, majority of it comes actually from the customer side, right? People are actually transitioning to electric vehicles.
Yeah.
There is a lot of quote-unquote information and misinformation out there about electric vehicles in general. So there is a basic fear.
I've had some things.
It's
like,
for example, I've had my EV for quite a while. I've had it for like a few years. I drive it every day, service every 50k kilometers. It's next to nothing just to run it. So it's us, and that might be an issue with us as industry players on actually doing the education itself of this is a better product and it can actually work in the long run. It can actually work with what you already have, because that actually ticks 2 boxes. The first box is the acceptability of the technology itself. Now, if you go back to Kenya as a market, is we basically import second-hand cars from Japan, and this car's already 8 years old. So
I remembered the noise, Eve. just went back to the noise.
Right? Yeah.
Yes.
And then, so there are many things that are actually at play, right? And then there is China as a market actually really growing on the EV side, which is not a primary import market for Kenya. Because, you know, they drive on the wrong side, quote unquote, we drive on the other side and things like that. And then there is also the policy side in terms of taxations and whatnot, right? So I'd give you a mathematical example. For every 100 shillings of fuel, you actually fuel your car, you're losing 60%, 70% actually, in noise, heat, and exhaust. In an electric vehicle, you're actually using 90 shillings. So that's the kind of numbers that now the customer has to understand. This, when the customers now embrace this, people are embracing it are like, I need more, I need more, I need more. But then again, you're battling in an economy which can import an 8-year-old car at way less. So all of a sudden, for something that you'd sell at $1,000, there's a Pro Box that is going for $300, right? Now, how do you make them equal? It's not like raise taxes for this guy, but can you make it even for everyone? So that evenness, all of a sudden, there's 1,000 EVs, there's 10,000 EVs. Now, the market needs more people to actually service these cars. Because if you look at EVs, there's now Nairobi. Mombasa is untouched. Kisumu is untouched. Narok is untouched. Kisii is untouched. And all these markets would actually benefit from this market.
Absolutely. Let's talk about the myths around EVs and the things that you've had. For anyone who's like me and you've had things, what are some of those things and how wrong are we in thinking these things?
So there's this video I saw on LinkedIn of, so if you have a fuel vehicle, you have to go to a special place to have a special liquid in your vehicle to run. But in your electric vehicle, you need to charge it. Does it take long? Honestly, yes.
How many hours?
Anywhere between 2 to 8 hours, depending on the vehicle you have. But a typical Kenya is an 8-hour economy, from 8 to like maybe 6. So in essence, you're sleeping at night. Nairobi is dead at night, right? So you can charge at night. When you're sleeping, just like we do our phones, you use it during the day and charge it. So that one of the misconceptions is I can't go to Mombasa. All electric vehicles can go to Mombasa. There's a charge in Sultan, which will take 40 minutes. Actually, according to UN, you actually should not drive to Mombasa in one journey. You need to rest every 2 hours. It's just a safety thing. It's just a safety thing, right? So if you go to Mombasa, there's like, I think there are 4 charging bays. Every 150 kilometers, there's a charger, right? So even your lowest range vehicle can actually go to Mombasa. It'll just have slightly more stops. But you'll only spend 2,000 shillings to Mombasa. That's enough as just taking a bus. So, right? But the market doesn't know this yet. We need to do a lot of
we are doing it now. You know, so no, tumesha change you, Philip, tumepelekwa too. But I think it's very important for you to just say that again. You know, like it needs to register.
So let me go back again. Numbers again. Since 2016, fuel left from 84 shillings to almost 250 shillings. We are talking about 3x. In like less than 10 years, right? So if you are a road trip person, you'd feel this. Something happens in Ukraine, fuel goes to 300 bob. Let's talk about electricity. Our electricity comes from Naivasha. It comes from Tana River. It comes from Uganda. The electricity is here, and it's cheap, and it's here. In this room, when was the last time you lost power? It's probably 2 months, 6 months ago, and things like that. And it's reliable, right? We're paying about 30 shillings per unit. So the fact that we don't need to pay some money to go to Qatar in dollars, we need to first change our money from Kenya shillings to dollars to pay to Qatar, to pay to Kuwait, to pay to Iran, as opposed to just paying KPLC and Kengen, and actually invest this money that goes outside here, right, to generate power. If you talk to KPLC, from 8 p.m. to 5 p.m. to 5 a.m., power is lost because no one is using it. Can we use this in our buses?
Can you use this in our cars?
Can you use this in our cars? Can you use this in our tuk-tuks? So that's the kind of conversation that we're actually going to government and saying, instead of paying for fuel and refining it, still do that. We're not saying stop doing that. But can we actually use what we have here for us? You know, a Kenyan decision, a Kenyan problem, a Kenyan solution.
How is that going though? When you
really well, actually.
Okay.
So KPLC came to us and said, sit up a motor. You know, we have power. And KPLC even themselves, they plan to set up, I think, 100 chargers. They had a charger at Ngara for free. You just come with your vehicle and charge. You don't get like a lion.
What?
Things are happening. Things are happening.
Okay.
And then when you think about a charger, you think it has to look like this.
Yeah.
It's the same size as a laptop charger. Plug it in, go and sleep. If you live in an apartment, the science is a bit different, but you can always talk to your landlord. But your watch has power.
Yes.
Charge his phone.
Yes.
Plug it there, go and sleep. As you have 100%. Go to Kisumu.
Yeah.
Those are the kind of conversations that are now happening.
Okay.
And more and more people are actually buying electric vehicles.
Yeah. Okay. That means then we will need more people.
Yes.
We will need Sally's to come in. And you mentioned something about soft skills, which is really, really important, and how that manifests at the workplace as a woman in a male-dominated industry. How even the way you see yourself and the opportunities that are there for you as a woman, do you feel like they are more now? Are you able to put yourself out there more than you were able to do before? Because now you can do things that you were not able to do probably a couple of years ago.
Yes, it does. It's the confidence booster you need.
Yeah.
When you go to these trainings, after after the few days, the few weeks, when you leave the workshop, you have you have a better chance to work as an actual engineer, as an actual technician. And I can say from the students that I've interacted with so far in Kenya, Nita, Nairobi, the last day, when they leave the last day, they are better off than when they came in, because then they tell you, please invite me for this next event. I want to come and network. I can join you. I can do anything. You can maybe talk to the companies. I don't want a job, but I can go there over the weekends and work with them, which is something they wouldn't have done before. And the other thing on soft skills, they get to know how to work with each other, because in most cases you'll find the first day before they are taught on how to interact with each other, they are a bit intimidated, especially when they find the first day maybe everybody hasn't reported, there are more men. Now they start fearing. They're like, I can't do this, there are way too many of you guys, and I can't be the only lady in this space. But anytime they have to go through the gender inclusion session, they're taught how to communicate, how to deal with each other, how to work as a team. Actually, the men, they're the ones that change mostly, unlike the women. They're the ones that understand, oh, I've been doing this, I need to do this, because now I've been taught how to work with this. They're the ones that actually encourage these ladies during the training. So they're like, this one is not working, they should be working. And if someone is completely not working, they even come back to us and they tell us, that lady, she needs to do something and she's not doing it. So the men, they are changing their attitude, especially after they are taught how to interact with the women, how to communicate, because they are even taught how to interact with now their teachers, their supervisors, to get them ready when they go to work. So by the end of the training, they should be able to know how to interact with Alex. So if they go to ask for a job, they won't just be fearing or scared to talk to him, because you have also told them the right things to say, the right attitude to have when they have to go to talk to him.
Absolutely. Do you think then, Sally, these conversations should be had, or the opportunities should be presented way before we get to TVETs? And I don't know if it's a space that you've gotten into, maybe now that you're already here, to go back. High school, maybe people who are just in the space of Nimemaliza high school and transitioning into uni, I'm not so sure, just to let them know that this opportunity is there, and not look at TVETs the way we used to look at them many years ago, because I'm loving the space we're in, because that has changed. That has changed in such a big way. So it's something that you are actively doing on a personal level, even through the program as well.
Yes, I do STEM mentorships. So anytime we have to go to a high school through different other organizations apart from GIZ, I get to go in and encourage the ladies. Because I remember the first day I reported to uni. When I got to that first lesson, I realized we were around 80 students, but around 5 were only 5 ladies, and the rest were men.
75.
And so, yes. And the thing was, this is an engineering class, which means we'll be going to workshops, to labs. We'll be doing the hard things that we get to learn in school to become engineers. But we are only 5. At no point will I get the chance to do those things, because the men, there are way too many. So if we are introduced to support each other, if I may say that, if they teach us how to support each other, especially when I'm just coming from a high school which is only girls school and only boys school, we never interact until we get to university. And when we get there, everybody knows what they know, because they have been dealing with only men. only women. But if we get taught how to work with each other, anytime we get to a situation like mine, 575, you'd find that these men, they know I have to support this lady. She's the only lady in my group, because if we are only 5 ladies, we have 5 groups. Yes. And so they have to know how to interact with me, how to accept me, because you'll find in these cases, especially you'll find the teachers, the supervisors, they'll put you as the leader because you're the only lady. And now that puts in a very awkward situation, because if you have to tell these men what to do, now they become so defensive because we overpower you at this point. But if these men, they have been taught the soft skills, how to include me, they wouldn't be having an issue with that. Absolutely. So they should teach us before we get to the space after school.
Absolutely. Yes. I really love that. And I know, Eve, you mentioned how you have, the organization has made sure that we have the latest cars, equipment, whatever is needed in the institutions. And this is to the two of you guys. When we start with technology, AI, ChatGPT, and then next thing I say, oh, have you seen Claude? Oh, there's 3 variations of mini banana. There's is it banana or banana? There's one of those ones. Is it the same in this industry that we need to keep morphing, keep learning, or is it stationary, stable for a bit?
Yeah. So I'll respond to a part of that, and then I have an issue with the operability thing and different, different brands having their different technologies. Yeah. But I think for us, like I said, nobody can work in isolation.
That's true.
And I think let me speak for the TVETs. Like you say, the numbers, TVETs are there.
Yes.
And of course, we realized that there's information that this year, students who are supposed to go to the university, a huge number of those have gone to the TVETs. They have changed and gone to the TVETs. And for me, I'll say the industry is changing very fast. Things are growing very fast. And it's very unfortunate that the industry is growing in such a way that institutions cannot cope, but they're supposed to cope.
Yes.
Supposed to cope in the sense that you churn out, they go to the industry, they go to equity mobility. Hey, Alex has changed systems. Whatever was taught does not apply now. And he has to think, do I have the time to upskill now? Or what do I do? You see, so I would say the industry is really changing. And one thing, like I said, we cannot work in isolation. TVET institutions cannot work in isolation. We cannot always wait for the government to change the curriculum or tailor it. But it is like the way we're working with NITA. NITA is they have a very close relationship with the industry. Yeah. They're always checking what is changing. Can we change the curriculum faster and adapt with the emerging themes? And even for those that different TVET institutions that are not even under NITA or under the TVETA, it will be very good for them to understand if they're doing specific courses, either e-mobility, solar, it's very good to always work hand in hand with the industry. Even if it's every 1 year or every 2, invite them. So this is our curriculum. What has changed? What do we need to incorporate faster before even we wait? So their curriculum is up to date before even the national one is up to date. Yeah. So I think that would really solve the solution. And also I think also on equipment, there's only so much that you can do, and sustainability is very key for us. Okay. So when we leave institutions, we want to ensure that they have purchased even more equipment for themselves for sustainability, but also calling upon the industry also to make donations. You see, things that you have that you're no longer using that you think you can cede to some TVET institutions and work with, or rather those that you work with, will really go a long way. Okay. Because sometimes money is not, of course, really forthcoming with capitation and all that is happening. Yeah. So many institutions, of course, with budgets and all, but let's all work together, because at the end of the day, the youth, at the end of the day, they're coming to these industries. And of course, for the industry, you need people that have the skills that you require.
Absolutely. Yeah. We've got about 3 minutes to the end of the show. So as we finalize, you could answer to that and also probably speak to what you would look for, what we are looking for, what is the call to action for institutions, for students, for the industry as well. And we'll do our parting shots quickly in like a minute. Thank you.
So I mean, to add on Eve, and what you also mentioned was, say, about AI and the constant change.
Yeah.
What's happening is engineering is interesting because anything that you see today was actually developed about 10, 15 years back.
Yeah.
It's a research that has been done to make sure it's safe and things like that. So you basically have quite a bit of time to basically enjoy something.
Yeah.
And the good thing, especially now with the information age, is you can almost see what's happening in China today.
Yes.
You can see what people are reading on. And you can always integrate it. So for us, it's not like we're scared of something like AI. We can only integrate it to our daily operations so that we see what's happening. You know, how do we remove repetitive processes through AI? Yeah. How do we solve problems in terms of software, code, and things like that? We can just give AI that. But you can still know how it's working and things like that. Now, the call to action for me is just like Eva said. Let's make sure whatever is coming out at year 2, year 5, year 4, whatever year you finish in school is right for the market.
Okay.
That's the key thing, right? Because every so often people are coming out of primary school, only half are going to high school. Yeah. People are coming out of high school, only half are going to uni. People are coming out of uni, only half are actually going into jobs. But of these jobs, you know, you did media, you find someone in engineering doing your course, someone who's a photographer, is a DJ. Yeah. So the constant mix-up, I mean, it's how life works. Yeah. But we should get to a point whereby the curriculum is industry ready, right? If it's manufacturing, can manufacturing develop a curriculum with a school with Kiambu technology and say, this is the printers that we're looking at, this is what we'd want. Okay. And here's an old printer, she can play with it. Okay. Right? Okay. So by the time I'm hiring you, I'm not funzing you how to...
No, at least the basics are in there.
You know, that's the kind of thing that we're looking at. So that's my call to action.
Okay, okay. Final take, and we'll have yours in 30 seconds as well. 30 seconds that you can share.
Yeah, okay. So we have the challenges, the emerging technologies which will always come. Yeah. So what we have to teach or to train our trainees on is they don't have to master this specific vehicle because they won't find this vehicle when you go to work. But they have to understand how this system works. So whether we have AI or not, they have to understand how this system is working. They have to think in systems, not just this specific car, because this car will change, but the way of thinking around that vehicle will not.
Okay, yes. Okay. And maybe a shout out to the girls, STEM babes.
Yes.
That you can in like 10 seconds.
Okay. So you guys, we can definitely do this because it's not a hard thing. We just need to have the confidence, the mindset that we can do this. And from the ones I've interacted with, you're very welcome to now come to this other side because we have interacted on other sectors.
All right, all right. Eve, 30 seconds, call to action. How can people join the program?
So visiting Inita Center, you can be able to join different trainings that we are supporting. That is EV technician training, that is the e-mobility and also solar. And also, I would say TVET is the future because industry-driven skills, they work a lot with the industries. And to the parents, please, let us encourage women to join STEM courses. It is possible. Let's change the narrative. Let's change the stereotypes that we have grown with. And of course, let's promote gender equality.
Absolutely. Yeah. All right. Thank you so much, Eve. Thank you, Alex. Thank you, Sally. Definitely the future of work is changing and green economy is creating more opportunities. So what are you doing about it? I hope this information was useful to you. That is all we had for you. Asante sana. Adios.